1% lower there on the stock. Devang Mehta from Spark Capital Private Wealth joins us now to take this conversation on the markets forward. Devang, good morning. Thank you for joining in. What do you make of these financials, the business updates that have come out? Loan growth in excess of 15% for most of the lenders who have come out, big or small. And is this the sign that loan growth in the system has finally started to pick up, bracing yourselves for a good second half?
Good morning. I think, yes, thanks for having me on the show first. And yes, it's good to see probably the festive demand coming back to the fore. And this was sort of predicted by a lot of people when government let loose a lot of things on GST. And secondly, I think also the income tax benefits which were given in the last budget have also come to the play. Yes, RBI cutting rates, enough liquidity into the system have also come to play. Finally, yes, financials, we have been sort of advocating the theme of credit growth. I know it's probably a lot of underperformance by banks over the last 3-4 years, which now seem to be probably having a little bit of pent-up demand for one financial type of companies, which are banks, particularly private banks and NBFCs. Yes, the loan growth was quite encouraging, and I think this is just seems to probably be the start, because what happens is September. I think if the Navratri demand is probably something which people go by. I think that's just been of 7-8 days of demand last month, September. October, yes, has both Dussehra and Diwali. So probably the updates that would come in the January month of October, November, December quarter, there I think the positive commentaries, management positive updates, positive even numbers, I think that would start reflecting. My sense, it's too early to predict that whether it's time that the credit growth has come back with full force. Difficult to comment, but I think with the loan growth, with the deposit growth, with credit growth, all this coming back, Bajaj Finance, I think 24% AUM growth, HDFC and Kotak Bank in excess of double digit, I think Kotak particularly 15-16% are encouraging signs. I think as financials, all these companies can come back to the fore, the sentiment improving, the intermediaries will also come back. I think, yes, positive so far. And probably markets have also gone through a lot of time correction for a year, and also a bit of 5% price correction since the September highs last year.
In that case, Devang, I wanted to understand what is the expectations from earnings this time around. The expectation was maybe we'll not see that strong earnings growth in this financial year itself, but Q2 has seen some updates coming back which have been positive. What's your take?
Markets will be positively surprised, Sonal. What will happen is everyone on the street was sort of saying that this quarter wouldn't be great, and I completely still agree with that. This will not be a great quarter. This will be a quarter where you will probably want to listen more to management commentaries and comments about how the industry is shaping up. The initial GST-led consumption demand, at least for the discretionary side of it. You also want to see execution capabilities and sort of order books for the Capex-related companies, and also that the banks as a space is again sort of gaining momentum. Typically, I think IT is where people have sort of receded their hopes, and that is where I think, yes, most of these companies are at a 52-week low. So bad results would also sort of not give them a knock. But yes, maybe are they value buys? We still have doubts. But to answer your question on the result season, I think still I maintain that the third quarter numbers, the October, November, December quarter, which has already started, I think the numbers which come in Jan, Feb, March, there you would probably start seeing some bit of upgrades, because what's important is we are somewhere near the beginning of the end of downgrades. So my sense, this quarter should be okay, but next quarter we'll start seeing sort of good results across all the spaces. That's I think the call that we are taking.
What about autos? Where, the festive season, everything that we hear from the ground seems to be that it's been a good festive season. The GST rates are really helping demand. But how much of that is already in the price? I mean, is it a buy right now, auto? And if yes, which one?
Yeah, Rima, I think very clearly the move which has happened, and I know it would sort of sound repetitive, is more structural, right? So what has happened is a couple of things which came down for the economy. One, very importantly, the GST-led demand resumption, or GST rationalization, if I can put it that way, that has sort of given ample headroom for people to spend, not only during the festive season, but I think whoever probably wants to sort of consume a little, sort of go up the curve, right, which is the theme that what was earlier luxury is now becoming more and more necessity. So I think that demand is coming back, and that is demand which is more people going up the pyramid. So my sense that this is not going to be just a festive phenomenon. Of course, this type of sales you will always observe in India during the festive season, be it Dhanteras, be it Diwali, or be it Dussehra. But ideally, I think my sense tells me that there was a lot of pent-up demand for auto. I think if the pricing is going to be okay, and if the season continues well, if I think most importantly, if the monsoon which fared well, there is rural consumption which is coming back, and most of these companies also sell their cars now, even SUVs and hatchbacks and sedans in the hinterland of India and in the semi-urban cities of India. So my sense, yes, this demand is here to stay. Structurally, I think auto has sort of changed gears. Yes, short term we don't know. Yes, there have been a lot of run-up in these prices, but companies like Maruti stand to benefit a lot.
Devang, there has been a rush of IPOs on the street. Have you looked at any of them? The recent ones, Tata Capital has opened today, WeWork opened on Friday, LG opens tomorrow, Canara Robeco opens on Thursday. Have you looked at any of them? Is there anything that you like among them?
I think, see, the general sense that I can give about it, I have not gone into detail of all of this, but the sense one gets is there is good quality paper which is coming to the market. Yes, of course, with good quality, there will always be certain qualities which will not be so great. But most of these companies are now coming to tap the market. There is enough and more demand for Indian paper. And you know that probably while we talk about the absence of foreign institutional investors, they've been probably buying some of these companies as even being anchors or buying some of this IPO. And also Indian domestic institutional investors have been sort of lapping up some of these good companies. My sense that one needs to be selective, particularly advising for HNI and retail. One needs to be selective, can't just jump on the bandwagon because there are so many IPOs coming. But yes, mostly what I say is 70-80% paper which is coming to the market might still be offer for sale, where the promoters might be liquidating or the PE agency might be liquidating. So one has to do a lot of due diligence. But ideally, yes, if I think if I'm going to say one word, the quality of the paper is good.
Okay, all right. Devang, any other theme that you're liking currently in the market?
I think, yes, we've generally been bullish on two spaces. One, credit growth and Capex now, with also consumption taking sort of a positive vibe. My sense is that a combination of three themes, Capex, and why Capex, still I know a lot of people probably talk about moving from Capex to consumption, but the first mile proxy, right? While you do a lot of consumption related stuff, while your credit growth rises, I think corporates are going to expand on domestic centric stories. So a lot of this engineering related businesses, a lot of this semiconductor allied, a lot of power ancillary businesses, pure play stamping, lamination, casting type of businesses, even auto ancillaries, all these companies will also come to benefit. I know, yes, there was a hibernation period while consumption and credit growth started to go up. My sense this quarter will also be good for companies which are into capital goods, ancillaries, those type of execution, and order books are also, we are seeing a lot of ramp up of order book and execution capabilities also coming back to the fore. So my sense, yes, a little bit of Capex theme should not be forgotten. These are also companies which will do well while consumption and credit growth do well.
Devang, thank you for sparing time and joining us today. Looking forward to having you more often on the platform. Take a short break. On the other side, on our special segment Under the Lens, Sonal focuses on the stock is ISMO.